What's up, everyone? Jeremy here from mtgheadquarters.com and twitch.tv/mtgheadquarters. I invite you to subscribe to both channels so that you can get the most up-to-date information possible. Here I am doing my typical pre-release preparation week, bringing you the removal of Fate Reforged. So let's get right into it. We have some light removal in white, although some of it is very strong. We have Obs on Advantage, and some of the removal I put in here is pseudo fringe, but it's something you might see and something you might want to build around. So we have Obs on Advantage is instant speed 1 in a white. Target player sacrifices an enchantment, bolster 1. Again, you're removing an enchantment, but there are several annoying enchantments in this set that you may need to remove. Then you've got Channel Harm, 6 mana, good grief, but instant speed. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to you and permanents you control this turn by sources you don't control. Again, a fog effect, no big deal. The only reason it makes this list is because of the second half. If damage is prevented in this way, you may have Channel Harm deal that much damage to target creature. Again, very situational removal. I don't love it, but it's removal. Sandblast at 2 and a white with instant speed. This is very decent. Sandblast deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Just a different Celestial Flare or whatever type of effect. They have to be attacking or blocking. So 90% of the time, this is just fine for removal. Then what I think is the best removal in white is Valorous Stance. This will most definitely see some standard play. 1 and a white, instant speed, choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible this turn, which is great. Or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. Again, pseudo-situational, but it does cover quite a few situations. Let's get into blue, where it has actually some outright removal. Most of the stuff is like tempo-type stuff, but it's a very powerful effect in limited play. We have Reality Shift. 1 and a blue at instant speed. Exile target creature. That's the part that matters. The second part, its controller manifests the top card of his or her library. Fine. It's good to get rid of a bomb or like a flyer, something you can't get rid of. It's actually not bad removal at all. Rite of Undoing, 4 and a blue, instant speed, but it has Delve. This is more of a tempo card. Return target non-land permanent you control and target non-land permanent you don't control to the owner's hands. Nice little tempo play. It's expensive. If you're in a situation where you could delve and cast it for 2 or 3 mana, it's worth it. It's not. It's really terrible at 5 mana, but it is what it is. Supplant Form, 6 mana, instant speed. Again, tempo. Return target creature to its owner's hand, but put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. You put a token. Correct. You put a token. So, not a bad little clone / bounce effect. That's why it's at rare, so obviously you won't see a ton of it. It's expensive, but it's super powerful. Huge swing. Whisk Away at 2 and a blue, all instant speed. Again, put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. Again, very standard tempo play, but something you're going to see. I think is a fine card to play in most control-y type builds. Then we have removal in black, where normally you see the best removal, although I think in Fate it doesn't have the greatest removal. It has one really good piece of removal, but the rest is kind of fringe. So you have Ancestral Vengeance. It's an enchantment. Again, this is super situational, super weak, but it is somewhat removal. When Ancestral Vengeance enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. So you're paying 2 black to put a counter on something you control, and I'm sorry, yeah, put a counter on something you control, and then you make another thing -1/-1. There are a lot of 1 toughness creatures in this block, so it's just fine. You know, it's definitely a sideboard worthy. It's probably not a terrible card. It's a nice little swing and early momentum if you're playing an aggressive build. Then you have Reach of Shadows at instant speed. Destroy target creature that's 1 or more colors. So just a goofy way of just saying destroy target creature. This is just fine. 5 mana, your standard 5 mana removal spell at instant speed. Definitely playable. Dousing Gloom at 3 mana. Dousing Gloom deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. So Farrakhan's Cure +1. You know, it costs more. It's strictly worse, right, than Farrakhan's Cure, but if you're it's a great play against in an aggressive mirror match to get rid of some low toughness flyers. It's a fine card. Merciless Executioner. This is a creature, I think the only creature that made the list to me as removal, just because it's like the Slum Reaper from Return to Ravnica, I believe the set was, and when it enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. So it's fine if you have like, it's often best used when you have a single creature, or you know, I guess the amount of creatures you have is irrelevant. If your opponent only has 1 creature, you're basically paying 3, and you can sacrifice the Executioner to make them sack their creature. It gets around hexproof. It's a fine card, definitely fine. It's also a 3/1 body, so you could simultaneously upgrade something weaker with a 3/1 or whatever. The best, the game changer, the big removal in the entire set is obviously Crux of Fate. 5 mana, effectively a board wipe. Choose 1, destroy all dragons, or destroy all non-dragons. In limited play, you're almost never going to be able to cast this and keep a dragon. It's mostly going to just be a board wipe, but there will be the one miracle situation, especially in sealed, where you may be playing a dragon or 2 along in black, where you could really see a tempo change. But even as a simple board wipe, you know, end hostilities is first pickable in any draft, and so should this be. Then we're into red, where you generally have your suite of direct damage type removal. No difference here. In Fate Reforged, we have Arcbound, which is more fringe, but it's because it's that instant speed. It's a pretty saucy combat trick. Choose target creature. Whenever that creature is dealt damage this turn, it deals that much damage to each other creature and each player. So you could definitely get some saucy interactions with this. It's at rare, so you won't see a ton of it, but know about it. Bathe in Dragonfire, very standard. Sorcery speed, 3 mana, 4 damage to target creature. Fine removal. Good, not great. Fringe playable if you don't have anything else to deal with creatures. It's fine. Collateral damage. Single red mana, which is nice, but as an additional cost to cast it, you have to sacrifice a creature. So collateral damage deals 3 damage to target creature or player. So it's not a bad finisher. If you have a bum, if you really have to get rid of something, it's definitely playable. You know, it's a lightning bolt. If you sacrifice a creature, it is what it is. Good, not great. Friendly Fire, 4 mana for instant speed. Target controller reveals a card at random from his or her hand. Friendly Fire deals damage to that creature and that player equal to the revealed card's mana cost. So obviously this could be a huge swing, or this could be a complete miss if you grab a mana, or you rip this top deck and they have 1 card in there or a couple cards in their hand and they're both lands. But it has a lot of potential, and I think that's why you see it at uncommon. But you want to cast this card early, I think. Pyrotechnics, very standard. 5 mana, deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures or players. This card is very playable. You know, not as good as Cone of Flame, but Cone of Flame was dominant in limited, so I expect Pyrotechnics to be very playable. It's I think most often going to be a 2-for-1, but you can also use it as a finisher. You know, if you combine it with collateral damage, you've got 7 points of direct damage you can do, all sorts of fun stuff. I think it's playable at source, even though it's at sorcery speed. Wind Slash, this is mediocre, but okay. 1 red mana, and it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. So it's shock with a ferocious twist, meaning if you have a power creature with a power 4 or greater, you cannot prevent this damage. But 99 times out of 100, this is a shock. Shock's always playable. You know, it's a decent card. And let's bring up the rear. with the set most often known for them big butts. See what I did there? We'll go to the last bit of removal here, which is in green. Reprint Hunt the Weak. Again, this is playable in most green decks because you just don't get any removal anyway, and it puts a counter on something, and since you're playing fatties anyway, and I think for most new players, green is definitely a good color to play at pre-release just because you can just play all the fatties and win a lot of games just by casting really big creatures. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature, then that creature fights a creature you don't control. Fine. Return to Earth made the list for me because it's of its versatility. So target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. So maybe sideboard game 1, maybe you don't main deck this card, but it's pretty versatile in the fact that it gets rid of an enchantment, artifact, or a flyer. I feel pretty safe playing this main deck, but again, it's not the greatest, but it's okay. Ruthless Instincts, bringing up the final piece of removal I want to go over with you, and I want you to remember, I want to remind you at this time, going over to twitch.tv/MTG headquarters. It takes just 1 second, and like click that follow button. It's free, and at least you'll get notified when I stream because I've got a lot of interesting streams coming up. If you're new to the channel here at MTG headquarters, make sure you crush that subscribe button so you get notified each and every time I upload. I'm gonna do lots of breakdowns here for Fate Reforged, as well as, of course, opening up all the product as I always do. I'll try to get all the intro decks done for you the week before release, and share whatever packs I might win, and it's just going to be a fun time. We have Ruthless Instincts. Choose one. Target attacking creature gains reach. Oh, this is real fringe removal, but I actually liked it. It's pretty spicy for a combat trick. So, target non-attacking creature gains reach and death touch until end of turn. Untap it. So this could be a real blowout. It's not a bad. It's like Dragon Scale Boon plus. I mean, it's just good. I mean, I think this is pretty darn good. And then also, as target attacking creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample till end of turn. So this is very playable. It's pseudo removal. Just a very good swingy card. So keep an eye out for some of these removal spells as you're building your decks at your Fate Reforged pre-release, as well as when you're playing your opponents. Then you'll kind of know what color they're in, things you might be able to expect. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll talk to you again real soon. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't already, check out some of our most popular playlists from MTG vlogs, sick gameplay videos, new product breaks, and some insane vintage openings. I upload 3 to 4 new Magic the Gathering videos every week, so if you haven't already, please take a moment to crush that subscribe button to join one of the fastest growing Magic the Gathering channels on YouTube. Talk to you later.